Welcome back to Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh. Kristie is out today, recovering from a minor mouth surgery. She's fine, there's nothing to worry about, and she's recovering great. So while she heals up, her sister's filling in.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Let's jump into the first story. Am I the asshole for beating my date in a game of pool?
So my initial thought is probably no, because, you would want to win fair and square, or at least I would want to win fair and square. So I would not want somebody to just let me win. So I think the answer is no initially.
So for context, I'm quite good at the game. I play regularly and against good opponents, two of which are in my country's nationals. So I went on a date with a girl last Saturday, went to a pool bar as she had mentioned she likes playing pool. I said I know a spot. I picked her up at the place, and we went to the bar, we got some drinks, settled, and then we played our first game. I was taking it easy, just enjoying the moment. We played a few more rounds than 8. While talking, I mentioned the two mates of mine who play nationals. So she then said, "Next game, don't go easy on me."
Okay, so she's asking for it then.
We played a few more games. I made it a bit more challenging for her to win. Nothing impossible, just a bit more of a challenging game. And just before we left, around 10 to 11 p.m., we racked up one last game, and I decided to just play it normally. I cleared the table on the break, not to show off, but just for fun.
Wow, okay, so yeah, clearing the table is just... didn't even give her a chance.
We finished our drinks, and I paid the bill, and we left. On the ride back to her place, she was extremely quiet, like noticeably less talkative. I thought nothing of it. She must have been tired. I dropped her off and went home. When I got home, I saw a message from her saying, "I asked you not to go easy on me, but I didn't mean turn it into a statement. It honestly felt a bit like an ego thing at the end, and it made me uncomfortable."
I could see that because, when you're kind of like expecting to play pool together, you're just kind of ready to at least play a little bit, You maybe just even hit one ball would have been enough, but to not even like get to hit any and just stand there and watch them clear the table while you just are sitting there with your pool cue just like waiting for your turn. I don't know. That doesn't seem great to me. I mean, I would have been a little miffed also, I think. I wouldn't want him to go easy on me per se, but I would like to at least get to play.
Yeah, for the last round, she just had to stand there and watch.
Yeah, like you become, instead of being a participant in the date, you just suddenly become a spectator.
I was taken aback by the message and haven't heard from her since after sending her a message explaining it was nothing of the sorts. The last game wasn't me trying to show off or anything of the sort. I had a good break, sunk 2 stripes, and had good positioning on the rest of them. Seeing as she said, "Don't go easy," I just played it out how I normally would. Am I the asshole?
I don't know. I feel like this one's kind of a mix because she did ask him not to go easy on her, but it's a date, not like a pool playing thing out with your buddies. Like if you were out with your buddies on, who you play pool with all the time, absolutely do that. But I don't know. It feels like for like when you're out on a date, you should be doing things together. Maybe that's just me, but that's kind of what I was thinking. So I'm kind of thinking it's a bit of a mix. I'm leaning more towards he is the a-hole, but I don't know. Maybe he could have some justification for this. I don't know. It's a tough call for me.
I kind of agree with you. Like, mild asshole at most.
Yeah, like mild at most. Maybe they just didn't have a good social understanding of how dates are supposed to go.
I'd also add that when she asked OP not to go easy on her, they continued to go easy on her.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just gonna go a little harder, not all out. And that's, I feel like breaking and then completely shutting out the table would have been good on the next round, and then you could hold back a little and have fun.
I mean, if he wanted to like show her what he was capable of, maybe, but it still seems kind of weird to just clear the whole table and not let your partner for the night play at all when it's supposed to be like a social gathering.
Top comment is similar to what I just said. Mild asshole. She asked you not to hold back, you continued to hold back, and she probably ended up feeling confident and good about herself. If you had just immediately not held back, I think she'd be the asshole for reacting poorly to what she asked for. What you did, though, was give the illusion of what she asked for and then pulled the rug out from under her.
Ooh, yeah. That was a rug pull, that's for sure.
It was probably embarrassing, and it probably felt like being messed with. It doesn't really sound like it should be a big deal, but are you the asshole of the situation? Yeah. More so than anyone else. For what it's worth, she doesn't sound fun, though.
Yeah, maybe if she's having a hard time taking, clearing the table, maybe she is a little more uptight than he's or they are looking for. I don't know if I would not see them again, but if it was first date, then maybe that might be kind of like a little red flag for you. I don't know. It's a tough call for me. I think maybe mild asshole, but yeah, I think not anything serious on this one.
You're the asshole for toying with her. She said don't hold back, and you still did. Then you just threw in an F you. I've been pretending this whole time. But I want to make sure you know how good I really am at the end.
Ooh, that's a good summary of how that kind of went down. That's what it seems like, at least from my end. Like that put into words exactly kind of what I was thinking.
That would give me the ick too, that you babied me all night and then still had to show off at the end. You should have played to your strength when she first told you to. Then she may have been impressed rather than embarrassed that you continued to lie about your skills.
Like the other comment said, she was probably feeling, confident, like, oh, we're pretty, fairly even, things are good. And then he just was like, bam, in your face, I'm awesome.
There was a time when I, a young girl, would invite dudes on dates to a physical activity I was above average at. I'd ask them to dress comfortably and wear athletic shoes, and then I would play my heart out. I thought it was good to see if they could follow directions, handle losing with grace, and even if the date was a dud, I'd still have had a great time. I was dating one of the single most impressive men I'd ever met. He was drop-dead gorgeous, had a chemistry PhD, and was finishing up medical school on a full-ride scholarship, with plans to go into something like surgery or nephrology. He was built to be a runner, but had taken up serious bodybuilding.
That's a switch.
Friends, he was so beautiful and out of my league, but he hadn't been free to come on my outing, so it was a few months of dating before he saw me do my activity. And even though he was so impressed, he told me that if I'd sprung that kind of skill difference on him, he wasn't sure he would have seen me again. I spent some time thinking about that and realizing the one-sided nonsense of inviting my dates to do something I was absolutely going to school them on. And I never did it again. It feels weird and unfair, especially if they show an interest, but no one wants to get schooled on a date and absolutely never a first date. Not the asshole, but this is a learning experience. Reflect and grow, OP.
Yeah, that could sum it up. A little reflection would probably be good, and hopefully they'll never do this again.
Today I effed up by intentionally running out of gas on the highway to teach a lesson.
What? That seems like crazy. That is like a huge inconvenience for all parties. What kind of lesson was this?
So, this technically started 3 days ago, but the explosion happened today, and I'm currently sitting in my car outside my apartment because I don't want to go inside yet.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like his lesson went well.
My roommate forgets to send me his half of bills every single month. It's always, oops, my bad, I'll get you Friday. And then Friday becomes next week, and then I'm basically floating $150 to $300 until he feels like remembering. I've tried being chill about it, I've tried reminders, I've tried a shared spreadsheet. Nothing sticks.
Yeah, that seems somewhat problematic.
Anyway, this week he asked if I can drive us to a concert because his car is acting weird. I already know what that means. It means empty tank and a mysterious dashboard light he's ignoring. I say sure, but you're covering gas. He says obviously. We drive 45 minutes, park, have a good time. He buys $60 of merch, but whatever, that's his money, I guess. On the way home, I glance at the fuel gauge, and yeah, I'm lower than I thought. I pull into a gas station and say, hey, can you tap your card? He pats his pockets, laughs, says he left his wallet at the apartment.
Didn't he just buy a whole bunch of merch? How did he leave his wallet at the apartment? Okay, I'm skeptical.
I just stare at him. He says it's fine. You can just do it and I'll send you the money. Here is where I messed up. Instead of just paying and arguing later like a normal person, I decided to teach him a lesson. I say, okay, cool, and get back on the highway without filling up. He's like, aren't you getting gas? And I'm like, nah, it's fine. It was not fine.
Oh, no, I would say not if they're running out of gas on the highway. That's awful.
About 10 minutes later, my car starts doing that little sputter thing. He's quiet. I'm pretending it's still fine. It was not fine. We roll to a dramatic stop on the shoulder at nearly 11:40 p.m. Now we are stuck. On the side of the highway, in the cold, with cars blasting past us. And guess who suddenly remembers his wallet is in fact in his other jacket?
Oh, the other jacket that's in his car?
I assume it's in the car with them.
Okay. Well, it would have been nice if he'd have remembered that earlier, but yeah, this is not a good situation. Being on the side of the road in the middle of the night, well, early in the middle of the night, that's not a safe situation at all, especially if you're going to have to get out and walk in the dark on the side of the road with cars blasting past at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
We had to call his sister, to bring gas. She shows up furious because she has to work at 6 a.m. While we were waiting, he tried to joke about it, and I just lost it. I tell him I'm done fronting him money for anything. No more bills floated, no more covering tickets, nothing. We get home, and he's saying I overreacted and that running out of gas to make a point was childish. He says I put us in danger, which, yeah, I kinda did. Now he's sulking and saying I embarrassed him in front of his sister.
I think kind of he embarrassed himself. His sister now knows that he's like not good for his, his word's no good for money. And she's probably mad at him because it's his fault that she had to come give him gas. So yeah, I bet the sister's mad at him, and that's probably part of the reason why he's mad at OP now.
I feel stupid right now because I absolutely could have just put $20 in the tank and dealt with it later. TLDR, I refused to front gas for my roommate to teach him a lesson. Ended up stranding us both on the highway at midnight till his furious sister had to come rescue us.
Yeah, so this is like kind of a mix. Like, I can get that he was like super irritated that, his roommate is like never paying and always he has to chase down the money. Like, he's not his roommate's mother. He should not be having to do this. The roommate is presumably an adult, so they should be able to handle this themselves, but they don't seem to be doing great at that. And it would be super frustrating. But on the other hand, his teaching a lesson ended up involving a third party who definitely was not at fault in this and had to bear the brunt of the responsibility, or the brunt of the consequences, from this. So yeah, kind of not great. He maybe did mess up a bit there.
This is one of those situations where it's very obvious that OP shot themselves in the foot in order to teach somebody else a lesson.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, they were all suffering on the side of the road there, and it was maybe not the best way to make a point, but on the flip side, it was memorable, I'm sure.
That's true. This is something that they will always remember.
Yes, and probably his family will talk about in the future down the line.
I'm not sure if he's going to remember it in a way that makes him better with money.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, because if he's bad with money, he may just be that way, and it may never get better, and there may be no lessons learned at all.
Top comment is pretty straightforward. Well, I bet he remembers his wallet next time.
I bet he does.
OP replied, God, I hope so, because I swear he forgets way too conveniently when it benefits him, and then suddenly has perfect memory the second it blows up in his face. Honestly, the most embarrassing part wasn't even his sister showing up. It was realizing I let it get to the point where I was risking my car just to force basic accountability.
Yeah, having your car on the side of the road, not safe.
If anything, I'm the one who learned the lesson here too. No more trusting I'll send it later, it's pay up front, or it doesn't happen. And if he forgets again, cool. He can enjoy walking or calling an Uber like an adult.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of feel like this whole situation maybe could have been avoided, though, if they had just, like, sat down and had, like, a conversation about this where he was like, listen, nothing's being paid on time. You pay up front or not at all. I'm not fronting you anymore. And if he had just, like, laid it all out, maybe this whole thing could have been avoided. I don't know.
Nobody who posts on Reddit talks about things beforehand. That's not...
Yeah, okay, yeah, those are the ones we don't hear about.
Right, that is not how we do things here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Nah, this will be way more effective than paying and dealing with it later. Roommate needs the embarrassment.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure that his sister's not going to let him live it down.
Embarrassment can be a good teaching tool.
Maybe.
When utilized correctly. I'm not sure if this one's correct.
I'm not sure either, honestly.
Yeah, I don't get this. I would have stood at the pump and stared into his soul until he made that card materialize.
It might have worked, actually. I mean, I'd have at least brought up, like, you bought merch, where's your card, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like OP is very aware of these antics and the fact that there's probably a card somewhere on his person.
Yeah, he seems to believe that. So, yeah, I would not have left the pump without getting gas, and I would have tried to find a way to make sure that roommate paid for it.
Oh, so OP does give a little more info in another comment. How did he buy $60 worth of merch? Yeah, that's the part that made my eye twitch too. He paid with Apple Pay at the merch booth, which is why the whole oops, I forgot my wallet thing at the gas station felt extra convenient. Like, you can magically buy a hoodie, but you can't magically tap for gas? Sure, buddy.
I use Apple Pay a lot in stores. I've never used it for gas, so I was just suddenly wondering, can you use Apple Pay for gas? I think you can, right? Like, they have the tap to pay things, don't they?
Yeah, I assume that you can use Apple Pay at those, but I've never tried.
Yeah, and clearly he's not going to just misplace his phone somewhere. Nobody goes anywhere without their phones. Yeah, I think he definitely should have made him get out an Apple Pay at the pump.
Or at least Apple Pay it to you.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'll pay here. You transfer me the money.
But Reddit's opinion is pretty uniform on this one. Roommate really needs to get their act together.
Agreed. Roommate needs to get the act together for sure.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and it lets us know that we should keep making fun videos like this for you. Am I overreacting and rethinking my engagement after how my girlfriend treated me while sick with a bad flu?
I think how someone takes care of you when you're sick, that's pretty telling about how they feel about you in your relationship.
That is an excellent indicator of how compatible you are.
Yes, I think so. Like, if you can't be happy at your worst together, then maybe that's not meant to be.
I'm 35 and my fiance is 32 female. Have been together for about 4 years, lived with each other for 1 year, and recently engaged.
Good start. Okay.
We recently got back from an overseas trip for a wedding, and I had caught a bad flu bug. So bad I passed out standing in the airport line and had to be checked over by paramedics, but was allowed to keep flying.
Oh my stars. Okay, so that's a bad one. That's just not like a cold. Something's real wrong.
We got home late, and while walking up the stairs in our home, I basically got lightheaded and had to sit down. I finally made it to bed. While we were gone, her mom was house sitting for us staying over. So, I had very bad diarrhea, and she knew this as while walking through the airport and on the plane, I was in the bathroom about every 15 minutes, and I told her this embarrassing fact.
Oh man, that's not good. That had to be a long flight home.
Those poor other people on the plane.
I know. Oh, that's terrible because, they had to be waiting for the bathroom. And then when they got in, it probably was not a pretty scene.
The next morning, she woke up about 8:30 a.m. Once she woke up, I asked her if she could go to the store and pick up some Imodium, Pepto, and maybe some Sprite or Gatorade, as I was really dehydrated.
Yeah, all of that makes sense. Like, anytime I get sick, like, I had the flu really bad a couple years ago. And, like, as soon as I got sick and, like, was running a fever and, like, was not feeling well, Jeff, that's my husband, he went straight to the store and bought, like, everything he could think of that would, like, possibly maybe make me feel better. Applesauce pouches because he thought I might be able to eat those. Any medicine he thought. And, like, if somebody's, like, a good partner, they're going to be super thoughtful and they're going to be worried about you and trying to make you feel better. So, okay, so this seems like, reasonable. He asked for it and hopefully she'll go get it. But I'm guessing maybe not since we're here talking about it.
Right. Even from a selfish standpoint, though, you could very easily just say, I need to do this for them because they're going to do it for me.
Yeah, like reciprocal. Even if you just thought of it like reciprocally. If they're that sick, then their girlfriend's probably going to get it in a few days. So, you would think that on selfishness alone, she would be like, I'll take care of them now, so they will take care of me later.
Her first response was, do I need to go now? I get I probably should have said yes, but I didn't want to be pushy, so I was like, well, you can have your coffee and get ready. But I'm super dehydrated and really feel like shit. And anytime I drink water, 10 minutes later, I am on the toilet again.
Yeah, you need something with electrolytes. When you're like, have the flu, sometimes water you drink it and it bounces right back out one way or the other.
Lovely.
Thanks.
She gets up and talks with her mom about the trip, has breakfast. Around 11 a.m., her mom jumps in the shower, so I go downstairs to talk to her about going to the store. She basically snaps at me and says, let me say goodbye to my mom. Why didn't you buy those at the airport yesterday? I'll go after I say goodbye to my mom, okay?
You probably didn't buy him at the airport yesterday because he was so sick he passed out at the airport.
Also, because they're like $10,000 at the airport.
Oh, yeah, that too, for sure. Yeah, and then what are you going to do? Stock up on all that stuff and like carry your armful of snacks onto the plane?
At about 12:30 p.m., I sign up for DoorDash, which I have never done, order the medicine, Sprite, and Pepto, and honestly, I am impressed it's here by 1 p.m. When it got delivered, my girlfriend's mom was like, what is that? I basically told her it was just medicine since I was sick and did not want to go to the store, so I got it via DoorDash. And she was like, you didn't need to order online. I could have gone to the store quick and picked it up. However, after this, I am seriously questioning my relationship right now. Not that it matters much, but there is a store about 1/4 a mile from my home. It's about a 3 to 4 minute drive. It would have literally taken 15 minutes max to pick it up.
Man, and she said her mom was in the shower?
I guess so, but that
Okay.
was like 90 minutes beforehand, so they were probably just out there chatting.
The mom probably still had to pack up her last minute things and stuff, so she could have done that while the girlfriend ran to the store and picked up, the things that her partner needed. Like, that should have been, I think, a priority because partner's not feeling good. Partner's in real bad shape at this point.
The reason is I was sick, really sick. I asked her to do one simple thing and she blew it off for like 5 hours. So, is OP overreacting?
No, I feel like that's kind of telling. Like if you're feeling really bad and you're clearly dehydrated, clearly not feeling well, your partner should be like right there supporting you, being like, hey, what can I do? How can I make this better? What can I do to make you more comfortable? And the fact that she just like ignored him for like 5 hours, that's like way too crazy. That's too much. I'd be like, yeah, that clearly shows a lack of concern at that point.
Top comment, not overreacting. I would have gone to the store for you right away if you were my neighbor, much less my fiance.
That is a very good point. If your neighbor asked you, I'm feeling awful, could you run to the store? I've been throwing up. I've been very sick.
Hopefully your neighbor doesn't need to go into that much detail.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you could just say, I have the flu. I'm feeling awful. Your neighbor would definitely, well, my neighbors would at least, but they would definitely, and I 100% would do that for them if either of my neighbors came over and was like, can you help me? I'd be like, I'll be back. Give me 15 minutes.
Yeah, if you're sick enough that you have to ask somebody else to do it, you generally kind of expect them to do it if you have a good enough relationship to be engaged to this person.
If they're good enough relationship to be engaged, you would think she would be a bit more concerned that he's, probably looking like he's on death's door at this point.
Another comment, well, lucky you. You found out now before he got married. I don't know what you are used to, but with someone who cares, you wouldn't have had to ask in the first place. Not overreacting.
I think that's 100% true because like I said before, with Jeff, I don't even think I asked him to go. He just went.
Right, because that's what a good spouse does.
Yeah.
Not overreacting. What happens when, God forbid, you're sicker in the future? What happens if you have a life-threatening illness and need to rely on her for caretaking? How would she react if you did all of that to her? She should have cared more. If my boyfriend had a cold, I would zoom to the store and get cough syrup and Vicks. She sounds self-centered and rude.
I totally agree with that because, if you're, especially since they're engaged. Wait, they were engaged, right?
Yes.
Okay, so especially if they are engaged, they're planning a life together. And there are going to be times in life, especially if they're lucky enough to grow old together, where they are going to be facing life-threatening diseases or illnesses, or God forbid, if one of them gets cancer, is she going to be able to, find it in her heart to take care of them when they're not feeling well after chemo or they're undergoing rigorous treatments? Or is this just the way they're always going to be?
Yeah. You want a partner who's actually a partner in the marriage.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't feel like she's doing partner vibes right now. This is more like she just wants to do her own thing and have the partner around, but not actually care for the partner when they need it.
Another comment, not overreacting. Do not marry someone who treats you like garbage. Has she even apologized? She should be ashamed of herself. OP replied, I tried to talk about it. She said she did not want to be rude to her mom, who was staying with us by leaving.
Maybe I could kind of see that, but not for 5 hours, right?
5 hours is extreme. If mom's hanging around for that long, mom can wait 15 minutes.
Yeah, or she can be like, hey, mom, let's run to the store real quick and get some stuff for partner. And then they can just, continue their talk as they drive and then talk on their way back. And then partner has all the stuff that they need to feel better. Yeah, I feel like this definitely could have been handled a little better.
Reddit is pretty much on the same page as us.
Okay.
You're not overreacting, OP. You should definitely have a partner that you can rely on.
I agree.
Am I the asshole for asking my friend to pay me back for the wine he drank while house sitting?
This is a tricky one because was it an expensive wine?
So I, 26 female, had my friend, 27 male, watch my place and my cat for the weekend. I told him he could help himself to whatever in the kitchen, which I thought was just common sense for snacks and stuff. I get back and realize he opened this $120 bottle of vintage Barolo I was saving for my promotion. He literally drank the whole thing alone while watching Netflix.
Oh, wow, okay.
When I asked him about it, he got all weird and said I gave him permission because the wine was in the kitchen. Okay, but who drinks $100 bottle of wine without asking first?
Did he know it was a $120 bottle of wine, though? Because, like, I'm not sure I would know. I mean, admittedly, I don't drink very much, but I'm not sure I would know. And she literally said, help yourself to anything in the kitchen. So I kind of think that giving him the benefit of the doubt, I would say maybe that's not unreasonable.
I don't know if I could identify a $120 bottle of wine unless it was like covered in a fine layer of dust.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So if it was dusty and like, wine celery, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's a special one. Don't have that. But
Yeah.
like if it's just a bottle of wine in the cupboard, honestly, I probably wouldn't think that my friend would have a $120 bottle of wine just sitting in the kitchen. I feel like that should be someplace, special especially if she's saving it for her promotion. Like, I don't know. I guess you probably wouldn't have it on display or anything, but I don't know. I might not just be stuck in a cupboard somewhere either.
It's got to be tucked somewhere away from light and at like a nice basement temperature so it doesn't spoil, right? And you got to go down a spiral staircase.
With, and it has to have like nice stone walls. And maybe we're not like wine connoisseurs enough. And maybe the $120 bottle of wine does not warrant all this. But it would be really cool if it did.
I sent him a Venmo for $80, gave him a discount, lol. And now he's calling me tacky and told our group chat I'm a bad host. I feel like there's literally an unwritten rule of guest logic where you don't touch the most expensive thing in the house. If I tell you to help yourself to my garage, it doesn't mean you can just drive off in my car.
Kind of think maybe it does.
I kind of feel like if you told me to help myself to anything in the garage, it means
like, that's the main thing in the garage. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's saying you can drive my car while you're house sitting.
Also, the friend is doing a favor by house sitting and taking care of the cat. So I'm also kind of not sure that you can like judge them on what they ate and drank while you were gone. If you left it around in the eating and drinking area, one would assume that it's probably fair game.
I think if I was house sitting for somebody and they said, help yourself to anything in the fridge, and there was a bunch of beer in the fridge, I might assume they put beer in the fridge for me.
Yes. Now, it might be different if you were like digging around in the cupboard, like looking for snacks, and then all the way in the back corner, you see a bottle and you're like, what is this back here? And pull it out and you're like, oh, this looks amazing. I'm going to drink this. That might not have been good. But if it was just like in the cupboard with all the other stuff, then yeah, I mean, it seems like maybe that's probably fair game. Maybe they did buy it for you.
I don't know. Am I the asshole here? He's making me feel like I'm being extra, but I feel like he totally took advantage of me. I don't know. It's also just $120. So is OP the asshole?
I kind of think, yeah, like if they specifically didn't want them to drink it, maybe they should have said anything in the kitchen except the bottle of wine I'm saving for my promotion.
Yeah, that probably would have been enough.
Because, I mean, if I was house sitting and I knew that there was something special like that bottle of wine, I definitely would not have touched it. And especially, like, if I knew that that bottle of wine was $120, I probably would not have drank the whole thing just while watching Netflix.
Right? I feel like the fact that he drank it while watching Netflix implies that he thought it was just like a cheap bottle.
Yeah, like just a regular bottle of wine. He was just like, oh, cool, wine. I'll have this while I'm, take a little sip while I'm watching Netflix. And I feel like if he knew it was like a $120 bottle of wine, he would have like, got some cheese and stuff and like made himself a little platter and really enjoyed it.
I really want to know if he actually enjoyed it or if he's just like, this wine tastes a little vinegary because it's old.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that would have been the worst if he didn't even enjoy it. He's like, this is some subpar wine.
Yeah. Top comment, you're the asshole. Expensive and cheap bottles of wine look the same to people who don't know wine.
Yeah, I think I agree. Because as we said before, I do not think I would know. I would see a bottle of wine and assume that, it's just a regular run-of-the-mill bottle of wine.
Be more precise in your instructions for the person doing you a favor. He assumed that you only have cheap bottles of wine because you cavalierly said to help himself. This is tacky.
I agree. She should not have charged him for that. Like, even if she's upset about it, which she obviously is, they could have had, a discussion about it and she could have just quietly sulked to herself and maybe not had him as a pet sitter next time if she didn't want him drinking her stuff. But he was doing her a favor by watching her furry little buddy. And now she's giving him a bill. He's already given up all his time and like it's been an inconvenience presumably to go to somebody else's house and watch their animal. Maybe not the watching the animal part, but staying away from home is never convenient.
Yeah, he didn't just like feed and water the cat and then peace out. He hung around with the cat and like watched the house.
Yeah, if he was there watching Netflix, he was obviously spending some time there, if not all his time. And now he has to pay her to do that? Like, that doesn't seem right.
Also, I have to wonder if OP was paying her friend, because you would pay over $120 to have a pet sitter stay at your house like this usually.
Oh, yeah, you definitely would. Especially if they were staying long enough to watch Netflix.
You're the asshole. You should just chalk this up to miscommunication. You said help yourself to anything in the kitchen. If you had told him prior, except for that bottle of wine I'm saving for my promotion, you could ask for full compensation. This is on you. Swallow your ego and let this go, my dude. It'll be better for the friendship.
I bet there's not much friendship left after she invoiced him.
OP replied to that one, yeah, think you're right. Will I be the asshole for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding?
Suing your friend is never a good sign, right? I don't think that means you're friends anymore.
I, 25 female, recently got married to my 25 male husband in Bali, Indonesia in January.
Okay, so that's pretty far away. Or is it?
OP later gives cost estimates in US dollars, so I'm assuming they're from the US.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty far away then. Okay.
It was a destination wedding, but my parents and his parents paid for their own plane tickets and hotel. We paid for our friends' plane tickets and hotel stays. Each plane ticket was about $2,000 USD, and hotel was maybe about $150 to $300 for a week.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But yeah, if you want your friends there for your destination wedding, I guess that's, if you are going for the whole destination wedding thing, that's probably about par for what you would expect to pay. Okay.
That is an affordable hotel.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. For a whole week, $150.
Yeah, maybe you could have put them up in a nicer hotel.
Maybe hotels are not that expensive there. I don't know. I've never been.
My friend Gemma brought along her newlywed husband, John, but paid for his plane ticket. The problem is that Gemma and John did not show up to my wedding. Gemma took the free plane ticket to Bali and the hotel room, and when I asked her why she didn't show up, she said that since they couldn't afford their own honeymoon, that this was a perfect opportunity, and that John decided he didn't feel like going.
Okay, so that maybe changes things a little bit, because they're basically like trying to get the friend to pay for their honeymoon then.
At least half of it.
Yeah. And I mean, how hard would it have been to go to a wedding? Like, even if they wanted to do like a whole week-long honeymoon, how hard would it have been to like set aside an afternoon and evening to just go do the wedding thing for, a couple hours and then go back to doing all the honeymoon stuff?
Yeah. If your friend's buying your plane ticket, you could say, hey, can you just tack a few days on the end of the trip?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's not going to change your friend's plane ticket costs probably to have you fly back home 3 days later.
Probably not, as long as it's not on like a weekend or a busy time. But yeah, because like if they're already paying for the plane ticket and you just add a few days, apparently if you can stay in the hotel for $150, you could do a whole nother week really cheap.
You could. I was really hurt by this since Gemma and I have been friends for over 10 years. Will I be the asshole if I took her to small claims court for the money I spent on the plane ticket and hotel?
If I had a friend for 10 years and I invited them to my wedding, like, I would really want them at my wedding if we've been friends for 10 years. It's not like it was just a friend I met a year ago. Someone you've been friends with for 10 years, they're the kind of person you want at your wedding, especially if you're paying all that money to have them there. So, yeah, I think it was kind of awful for Gemma to just ghost on the wedding after they got there. Like, you would think you would want to be at your friend's wedding, right?
Yeah, OP considers Gemma a close enough friend that she was willing to pay like $2,300 to get her to the wedding.
Yeah, like that indicates pretty close friend. So the fact that Gemma apparently doesn't feel that way and just ghosted out, that would be a pretty big indicator that maybe this friendship is not as great as you thought it was. However, I am not sure taking her to court is a great idea either. Like, that just seems, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too nice.
I don't know. There is always that, like, cringe that happens when you have to take a friend to court because you know you're ending the friendship with that.
Yeah, that is like, that's the axe. There is no recovering from that, I don't think.
But I feel like Gemma and her husband already have that axe swinging towards your friendship if they just essentially stole $2,000 from you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically they did, because yeah, if they didn't even come to the wedding, didn't even care enough to come to the wedding, then yeah, that's a statement.
Yeah, you essentially had a contract with them, like, I'll give you $2,000 and you come to my wedding. Like you said before, there's no reason why they can't go to your wedding and then have a honeymoon on your dime.
Yeah. And on that note, if you're paying them $2,000 to come to the wedding, should you have to pay your good friend to come to your wedding? Like, they should just want to be there. So the fact that they didn't is really, that's kind of upsetting for me, actually.
Yeah, but destination weddings are tricky like that because they couldn't afford to have their own honeymoon. So money's probably tight for them.
Oh, that's probably true. But I still think if it were me, I would do like a hybrid, like where you pretend you're on your honeymoon the whole time, except for the little bit of time that you're supposed to be at the wedding. And then you just take a break from the honeymoon, do the wedding thing, and then go back to honeymooning. Because let's be honest, the married couple probably wants to go do their own thing most of the time anyway. So you would be free to go have your own honeymoon anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think at a destination wedding, there's lots of opportunities to sneak off.
Yeah. Also, though, kind of weird is the fact that Gemma's husband just didn't want to go to the wedding. Like, did she force him to come? And did he intend to never go? And I don't know, like that part just seems strange to me, too.
Yeah, and I would also say it's not up to John whether or not they go to the wedding. This is Gemma's friend group.
Yeah.
So, John, suck it up and go to the stupid wedding.
Yeah, I mean, they paid to bring you to the wedding and got you to this beautiful destination. I feel like that, even if you don't want to go, it's the least you can do to just, go for a few hours. Even if you didn't even stay for like the whole reception or anything and you just popped, did the wedding and then popped into the reception and then just disappeared after a while. That would be infinitely better than just skipping the whole thing.
Reddit says not the asshole.
Okay.
Top comment. Can't believe I'm saying this, but not the asshole. Someone offers to give you a free vacation on the condition that you attend one party during that time. I'd be jumping for that opportunity. To take that free vacation and then no call, no show to your friend's wedding is really shitty behavior on their part. They could have extended their stay if they wanted to treat this trip as their own honeymoon.
Yeah, that's basically what you said earlier. And I think that would have been the perfect solution to this problem. Just stay a little longer, extend the stay. And yeah, it should be good.
Another comment, you are not the asshole, your friend is the asshole here. But I can't see you winning any sort of claim. Legally, you gifted her a plane ticket. There was no contract she had to come to the wedding.
That's a good point. Would that stand up in court? I don't know, because yeah, as they said, it was not explicitly stated that they had to come to the wedding. So yeah, that may not stand up in court at all.
Somebody replied, judges are capable of finding an assumed condition with a gift. The classic example is that engagement rings typically get returned to the man if their fiancé calls off the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So, in almost the exact same logic, if you don't make it to the wedding, you gotta return the gift.
That might stand up. I'm not sure. Maybe if you had a sympathetic judge, that might work.
Not the asshole. You didn't offer to gift them a honeymoon. You offered to help them attend your wedding so they didn't have an undue financial burden. Also, they could totally have done both. Spent some time in honeymoon mode and also attended your wedding. That they took your money and used it solely for themselves is not okay.
Yeah. And also, I was just thinking as you were reading that, the parents actually paid for themselves. So this was like a special thing. It wasn't like they paid for everybody to come. They just paid for Gemma and John to come.
I think she also said friends.
Okay.
So probably some other friends as well. Gemma's just the only one that no-showed.
That is noteworthy at this point. But still, I feel like, they didn't even gift their parents the money for the trip. So yeah, I feel like Gemma was definitely taking advantage here.
All right, and there is an update.
Okay.
I messaged Gemma per multiple comments advising me to invoice her for the plane ticket and hotel room, but I did something a little better. I wanted to get proof, so if I had to go to court, it would be easier to win. I messaged her this.
The crap's about to hit the fan.
Hey, sorry for being so distant, but I just wanted to talk to you about Bali. I'm hurt that you didn't show up to the ceremony. I pulled a lot of strings to ensure that you could come, and then you didn't show up. Did you think I paid for the trip just so you could honeymoon with John? She replied, I've missed you a lot, and I know the trip was for your wedding, but John didn't want to go because he felt like the wedding ruined the illusion of the trip being our honeymoon and that you'd understand.
You ghosted your friend on her wedding day. That's not cool. It's not, and it was a small wedding party too, if it was a destination wedding, so it's not like in the mad crush of people, she wouldn't notice that Gemma wasn't there.
Right? The happiest day of your friend's life, and you skip it?
Yeah, like that's not a good friend right there. I think either she's a very bad friend or John is a very bad influence on her.
I replied, No, I don't understand. You took advantage of me, and that's not what real friends do. So I'm invoicing you $2,387.53.
Don't forget that 53 cents.
For the cost of the plane ticket and hotel room. I will give you 30 days, and after that I will be taking legal action. I received no response, but she's been posting subliminal quotes on Instagram that are along the lines of entitled friends and having snakes in your life. Thank you all for your verdicts and help.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Is Gemma just really clueless that she just does not know how bad this thing she did was? Or is she know that she did something wrong and, was just trying to make John happy by not going, and then is now trying to pretend that it wasn't as bad as it was and that now she's the victim?
I feel like it says a ton about Gemma's personality that she's the friend that posts inspirational Instagram quotes.
Yes, maybe so. The infamous vague posters.
Yeah, she's vague posting. I imagine it's just a photo of text over a beach.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting the snakes out of my life.
Yes. And the beach would, of course, be referencing her trip, so everybody will know.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, Reddit says not the asshole here, and I have to firmly agree. She really took advantage of you.
I'm not a fan of going to court, but this may be one case where maybe it was warranted.
And she really left a smudge on the memory of your wedding.
Yeah, she did. That's not something that you can easily, just remove from your memory. That's going to be there with her for the rest of her life. And she doesn't even really seem very sorry about it.
Am I the asshole for only paying my brother $10 a week on a $25K loan until I get my feet back on the ground?
Well, that's not very much, but it is better than nothing.
I'm 25 male with a 29 female fiance and a 1-year-old son. My brother is 30 and his husband is 31. I work on the farm in Australia and get $58K a year. My fiance and I own a house on the farm, and 18 months ago I had major renovations on the house. To complete these renovations, I needed to borrow $25K from my brother.
If you're making $58K a year, it shouldn't take you too long to pay off a $25,000 loan, right? So it seems like that was, the brother probably felt like that was reasonable. Okay.
We made an agreement that I'll pay him back with no time pressure. I even wrote a contract that reads, I will pay you guys back. No time or amount listed.
Okay.
I owe you.
I owe you. Yeah, family, I owe you.
Since moving into the house, we've had our son, and we haven't paid anything back due to having little to no money, living paycheck to paycheck and just trying to survive. He has been aware of our situation and never pushed for money.
Okay, that all sounds pretty reasonable, I guess, because yeah, he knows that his brother, it's always hard, especially with kids. Kids are super expensive, especially when you're starting out. So yeah, I mean, I could see how, he'd be hopefully understanding when they were a little short on money there.
Maybe. Yeah, it depends a lot on...
Yeah, I guess it does depend, because you got to look at the other purchases they're making around the farm, too.
Well, I was also thinking it just depends on brothers' finances, too.
Oh, true. Yeah, because I was thinking brother's probably doing great. They have $25,000 to lend. But yeah, maybe if they're just, a normal guy and they just, gave all their savings to their brother temporarily, yeah, that could be somewhat problematic.
At Christmas, he mentioned to us in front of our entire family that didn't know about the loan that he wanted to talk to us regarding the loan and us paying him back. We later texted him saying we are happy to talk. However, it was disgusting to mention the loan in front of our family, especially on our son's first Christmas.
I mean, yeah, there probably could have been a better place. I think if it were me, I'd have pulled them aside and been like, hey, brother, can we, talk about this loan? But yeah, I don't know if I'd have not announced it in front of the family, but I don't know if it was disgusting to do it on your son's first Christmas. I mean, yeah, that's son's first Christmas is exciting, but he's not going to remember it.
It depends a lot on if there's been any other attempts to talk to about it beforehand.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
Because if your first step to say, hey, you need to start paying back the loan is call him out in front of the entire family, that's asshole behavior.
Yeah, that is. Or very socially tone deaf.
Yeah, it's either socially tone deaf or your brother's blatantly trying to shame you. On Boxing Day, he and his husband came over and tore us a new arsehole. Having shots at us, telling me I'm not doing a good enough job, and telling my partner she needs to get a job to help pay them back. I tried explaining these last 12 months of having a baby have really been tough. Expenses are through the roof. We've had many appliances break on us, car serviced and tires, $5K in vet bills, etc. They also mentioned we should put our son in childcare. I refused, as it's none of their business for starters. My partner has always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and she's worked in childcare and has seen the horrible side of it, and we don't want to put our son there.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see that, and especially like they're only young once. So if you put them in childcare and miss all that when you've been looking forward to that, I could see that that would be problematic. So I'm thinking saying that the mom should go to work, maybe not the best idea. Also, especially, well, maybe it's different in Australia. Here, childcare is pretty expensive.
I can't say anything about Australia's childcare, but I have to wonder if all these things that OP has been spending money on is making brother upset because he's seeing that they suddenly have a bunch of new appliances for one.
Oh, yeah. So did the appliances break or did they just buy new appliances?
That's true. He did just say we've had many appliances break on us. The car was serviced.
Okay.
So maybe they didn't break to the point where they had to get a whole new stove.
Yeah. Or maybe they just didn't tell the brother that they had broken prior to this. And if brother stopped by and happened to see, oh, they have a whole kitchen full of new appliances. Yeah, you'd be pretty mad. You'd be like, why? There's my $25,000 all right here. Why isn't it back in my pocket?
Yeah, that dog's still alive. Did you spend $5,000 on that dog?
Oh, I was thinking it was a farm, so it was probably like a horse or a cow or something. So those vet bills get expensive fast.
That's true. That's very likely. I was thinking the dog had something critical, but you're right. It could very well be farm animals.
Yeah, in which case, yeah, that $5,000 might be a drop in the bucket compared to what they're, going to make off the farm animal later. I don't actually know how much you make from farm animals. Sorry, guys. But I know vet bills for farm animals are pretty pricey.
I mean, I don't know how much you make off of the animals, but I know that it's a very good job to have to be the vet that travels to the farms.
Oh, yeah, the large animal vets, yeah.
I tried telling my brother at this very moment we only have $900 to our names. We want to pay them back and said we will do $10 a week and slowly increase it over time when we get back on our feet. Frankly, I want and need to look after my family before him. We were told $10 a week is an insult and that everything else is an excuse.
Okay, so $900 isn't exactly a small amount of money. Is that money that he needs to pay the bills or is that money that he has in the bank? Because if it's just money that he's banked, then maybe some of that should be going towards paying off that loan.
Yeah, because he says $900 to our name, so I don't know how much of that is for bills.
Yeah.
But maybe he could do an initial sum higher than $10.
I know, yeah, like a good faith payment at least. Like here's, like $500 or here's like $250 or even $100 would have been a better start than 10. But admittedly, 10 is better than the 0 that they've been paying so far. I feel like they should have been paying at least $10 all along to show that they were, in good faith.
We've always known we were going to be a low-income household and have accepted that. We've never complained, just work hard and get on with our life. We've also reached out for financial help to see if they can help us. My brother is a pilot for a major airline, and between him and his husband, we estimate they bring in roughly $200K, compared to my $58K. They also live in a major city and travel usually overseas twice a year, so they have no money issues.
Just because they make that much and travel doesn't mean that they have no money issues. Also, maybe it's not his business what his brother's doing with his money.
That's fair. Just because somebody is doing okay doesn't mean that $25K is a small amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, because that's still, like, assuming that they make $100,000 each, that's 3 months of work for one of them.
And that $200K is OP's estimate, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you can't, just because you think you need the money more than they do, doesn't justify not paying back. Also, if they knew they were a low-income family and they were going to have trouble ever paying this back, why did they ask to borrow it? Did they not have an intention of paying it back? Because it sounds like they haven't paid anything back on it at all. Was he just hoping to float through without ever paying it back, or paying it back like when they won the lottery or something? Or what exactly was the plan here?
Maybe when the kid's 18 and they don't have to pay for him anymore.
Oh, okay. Maybe they should have double checked if that was the case.
It's tough. I mean, the money was to renovate their house, so it could have been critical.
Yeah, because I guess that's true. When you said renovate the house, I was thinking this is like a, not a necessity necessarily, but like, ooh, we'd love to have new kitchen floors or new kitchen cabinets, or, oh, let's retile the bathroom.
That's what I thought initially too, and then I was like, no, maybe there was just like a hole in the side of the house.
Yeah, or maybe
something.
like the hot water tank broke and there was water damage or something. So yeah, I guess it could have been something that needed taken care of right away. So yeah, okay, if that was the case, then yeah, I could see asking for the money then, even if you knew you couldn't pay it back right away.
And the reason for them suddenly wanting the money, they're going through surrogacy to get a baby, and have just found someone in Canada who is willing to carry for them. They have enough money to pay for their first baby. Their surrogate isn't even pregnant yet, but they want a second baby in the future and can't afford that, so they want the $25K back. So, am I the asshole for only paying $10 a week?
Oh, OP's main excuse for not giving the money back was because he had a baby. So he should understand the fact that they want a baby. But I think OP can't say, I need the money for my baby when they need the money for their baby. And it is their money, technically. So, yeah, this is a tough one, I think, because I feel for OP, struggling with money is never easy. It's especially hard when, it's your family who you owe money to. I imagine that would be, you kind of want to keep everything. You don't want to lose your family over this loan, basically. Family's family. But yeah, I still feel like they should give it back. Like that is technically that money belongs to the brother. And he should be able to get it back in a timely manner, especially now that OP knows that the brother needs it for not for something frivolous. It's not like, oh, let's just go to, Europe for a month. And even if it was, that's their money. They should be able to get it to do that. But this is for something important. This is for starting their family. So you would think that the brother would be, or OP would be more sympathetic to that and try to get the money back to them as quick as possible. Is $10 really all they can swing? And if that's the case, then yeah, they should give that $10. But like I said, I feel like they should have been given $10 all along to show that they were, even if they couldn't pay much, they were paying in good faith.
Yeah, and it kind of reveals that brother actually doesn't have much in savings. Assuming $25K is how much it costs to do the surrogacy for a baby, they drained their savings on the first one.
Yeah, so they need that one. And maybe this is more like brother is giving him a heads up and letting him know, in another year or two, we're going to need this money back so that we can start our family. So maybe this was the brother's way of, kind of gently prodding him and say, you need to get this money back. And that, in that case, yeah, imagine if you were like ready to have your baby and you need that $25,000 back and your brother is just like, I'll give you $10 a month. So, like a year from now or 2 years from now when you need it, you're going to have like $120 towards your $25,000 surrogacy. That's not doing so good.
Yeah, that's a good point because their surrogate isn't even pregnant with the first kid yet. So they are giving brother some time. And when they talk to brother about it, he just seems to be smugly pointing at the contract and being like, I didn't put a time frame in.
Yeah. Like that kind of seems like a little bit of an a-hole move right there. But especially because it seems like he hasn't even been trying. But I get it. Like, babies are super expensive. Like, you have to buy, like, all the gear for them. They outgrow their clothes, like, every 2 weeks, I swear. And so, like, you're just buying stuff for them constantly. And, like, they need different, like, toys at different levels. But I feel like they should have been trying along the way, at least a little bit.
Top comment, you're the asshole. Everything your brother says is true. $10 a week is an insult. Your wife should get a job. Or you should find some alternative ways to increase your income and curb your other expenses. If you are making 58,000 Australian a year and have only $10 a week to spare, you need some serious financial advice and you need to take that advice.
Yeah, and like if they're on the farm, does he own the farm or just works on the farm?
It just says he is on the farm, but
Okay.
he lives on the farm, so I assume maybe it's
like
a family farm.
Maybe like if he had ownership of some of the livestock, maybe he could like, I don't know, sell a cow or sell a horse or sell a pig. I don't know. I imagine that would get a decent amount of money. You could at least, get that going back towards the loan. I don't know. Is the OP just unwilling to give up anything in his life to return that money? Or is there something that he could give up
It does sound like OP does not want to make any sacrifices.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting too. Like, I feel like, $25,000 is a lot of money. He should be like living like super frugally on that.
Right. That's just what you have to do sometimes when you're starting out.
Yeah. Especially if you've borrowed money from someone. Like, paying that back should be their top priority.
Because if you were trying to pull this with a bank,
oh my stars.
You wouldn't have a house.
You would not. They would snap that house back up. You would be homeless.
It'll only take 48.1 years until he pays it off.
My goodness, that's like longer than a mortgage.
I'm sure his brother will be totally okay with it all being paid off when he's 78 and maybe alive.
Maybe alive, yeah. At that rate, the loan outlives the person who gave you the money. Yeah, that's not good. They should at least be going for like a 30-year mortgage situation and not like, 48 years. That's like 50 years to pay that off. And that's with no interest, right?
I like that. 48 years? That's like 50 years.
Yeah, it's practically 50 years.
Seriously, if he can only pay $10 a week, then he should feel terrible if he ever buys a pizza or goes to the movies or something.
Exactly, yeah. And maybe he's not doing any of those things. I feel like with $58,000 a year, they should have a little bit more money per month to put towards the loan. Although, how much is the Australian dollar very different from the American dollar?
So somebody commented, $58K a year is not a lot in Australia. The minimum wage is $49K a year. A family of 3 living off that is going to be extremely tight.
So that does put some perspective on things. So yeah, maybe they're not going out for pizza or anything. But I feel like in that case, if they knew they weren't going to be able to pay them back within a timely manner, like, less than 50 years, maybe they shouldn't have borrowed that much.
Yeah, it depends on how mandatory the expense was for the house. Somebody else from Australia also mentions childcare is extremely expensive in Australia too. So it might not even move the needle much if she goes back to work.
That's what I was thinking, because I know that like here, like childcare is really expensive. I know like back when I was like looking into it for our kids, it was like $1,800 a month for like the most basic one. If you were working minimum wage, like that would be not enough to even cover the childcare, right?
Yeah, it would be a significant chunk, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. So I think it would not be enough to make it maybe worthwhile, especially after, all the taxes and everything. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, since wife works in childcare, which probably doesn't pay that great.
Oh, yeah.
It costs a ton, but the workers don't get it,
Yeah,
it
that's
seems.
true. Yeah. Well, probably because they have to have so many workers there, too.
That's true. They need a lot of workers, and they have to probably pay for a lot of expenses.
And there's probably a lot of insurance. They probably have to carry insurance in case the kids get injured, which I'm sure
that's important.
Important. It's probably pretty expensive, too, because there's a lot of kids, and kids are accident prone. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that insurance thing, but I would imagine that that's the case.
Another comment. Why do people who borrow money always try to justify not paying it back because the person who lent the money to them has money? So the lender must not need the money.
I did kind of feel that way because, like, I feel like when he was talking about how rich the brother is, like, he was, like, saying basically trying to justify that, he needed the money more than the brother did. But it was the brother's money to begin with. The brother went to work every day to make all that money. Maybe it would have been less days of work than OP had to work to make that money, but brother still had to go to work and earn that money.
That's true.
Doing a high-stress job as a pilot, too.
A famously high-stress job.
Yes! So it's not like he was just, going to work, putting in time at the office. He had to work hard to earn that money. So I think, it's not really a justifiable thing to say that, just because he has more money doesn't mean he shouldn't be able to spend his money.
Also, OP said that they take a couple trips overseas a year. They aren't paying for plane tickets, probably.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they may not be doing as well as they appear to be.
Right, because if you get the airfare covered, you just find a cheap hotel overseas.
Yeah. So, yeah, so they may appear that they are, having more money to burn than they actually are.
So Reddit's overall opinion is OP is the asshole here, and it's never ends well when you loan a big sum of money to your family.
That is true, and they do always say don't lend money to family, and I guess this is why.
Boyfriend got me a Valentine's gift that was a puzzle picture of me standing in front of my losing streaks in my favorite games.
What? That sounds terrible. Here, let's commemorate your worst memories.
This was posted to our girl gamers.
Okay.
I know people in this sub usually hate posts like this, but I feel like this is the only community that can tell me if I'm overreacting. He got me a mystery puzzle for Valentine's to put together with him because he loves doing puzzles. I realize my face is in it and I laugh. And I realize it has some match histories and laugh. Then I realize his entire gift for Valentine's is a puzzle he wants to tape and frame, making fun of me for being bad at the games he plays the most, and I felt kind of about it. Especially because these are games where I watch him flame people and flip his shit on them for being bad at them.
Oh, so he's like making fun of her like hardcore. Like he may not be saying anything out loud, but in his head he's thinking all the horrible things he usually says about other players when he's watching her play. Is that what we're getting out of this? Because that sounds pretty awful.
He got angry at me as soon as he realized I didn't like it, and told me I need to learn to laugh at myself.
Who's gonna want a Valentine's Day gift for them making fun of themselves? That sounds like a terrible gift.
I asked what he thought was funny about it, and he said if he had to explain it, then it wouldn't be funny.
It wasn't funny.
No, but maybe OP just can't take a joke.
Okay, so here's the thing. It might be a funny joke if he was just like on some random day, like, oh, I got a puzzle for us to do, and then they did it. He's still kind of a jerk, but it might be like, haha, okay, that's funny. But this was what he chose to get her for Valentine's Day, which is like supposed to be a gift where you're like showing your love for the person, and he's like, haha, I'm gonna make fun of you instead.
Yeah, that's not an especially great Valentine's gift, is it?
No. I mean, yeah, it may be funny during like a sunny summer day where nothing else is going on, but for Valentine's Day, I feel like he should have maybe put a little thought into this one and thought about how she might feel.
My friends make memes about me fucking up plays or some dumb things like red and yellow make orange. It just feels different.
Yeah, joking around with your friends or your significant other about it is one thing. That's like just happening in passing. But to make and frame something for Valentine's Day? Like, that seems a little weird. Yeah, like, honestly, if you had a picture of your partner losing something framed and put on your wall, like, what the heck? That's a really weird statement.
Yeah, it's a funny one-off bit.
Yeah.
And it might have even been okay on Valentine's, but it sounds like he didn't get her anything else.
Yeah, and he's the one who likes puzzles.
Yeah, right?
Was this a gift for him or her?
I mean, if he's the one that likes puzzles, it was clearly a gift for him with her name on it.
I'm starting to think maybe this is not the greatest relationship.
I guess I would have preferred it as a birthday gift, but on Valentine's Day, my only gift and special thing being something making fun of me. When he constantly makes fun of me for being bad at these games, I watch him type paragraphs making fun of people for these games. It just feels demoralizing.
Yeah, well, if he's typing paragraphs about that about other people, you know he's thinking that about you. And this gift kind of just shows that, I feel like. And I'm starting to think maybe she could probably find somebody better than this for her. He doesn't sound very supportive.
He says it's okay I'm bad at them because I'm hot.
Wow, okay.
Which didn't help, and he only got more pissed that I didn't find that helpful. How would y'all take something like that?
I'd be offended. I would definitely be offended and hurt. I would be hurt that was the most thoughtful thing he could get me for Valentine's Day. Cause like clearly he put some effort into that. Cause he had to have the puzzle made. He had to pick out the picture, have the puzzle made. And so he put thought into it, just not thought about what might make her happy.
I don't even know where you go to get a puzzle made.
I assume you could go get that done at like a picture printing website. I haven't used one of those in ages, so I don't know if they still do. But I know back in the day you used to be able to.
But yeah, I think you said it already. This is just a prank for a Valentine's gift.
Yeah, it's a prank. That's a good way to say it. This is definitely a prank. And Valentine's Day is not the time for pranks.
And not as the solo gift at the very least.
No, okay, yeah.
At the minimum.
So maybe if he had done this first and was like, haha, and then was like, okay, here's your real gift, and then gave her something like really, really nice and thoughtful, then that would have been like weird but excusable. Like maybe he's just a weird guy. But this is being the only gift. I don't feel like that's acceptable.
And a puzzle is such a time commitment.
It is. She put probably like an hour or two or many hours into finding out that he thinks she is an idiot.
And then once you figure out what the image is and it's just you standing next to a losing score, does he expect you to continue to put the puzzle together now that you know it's an insult?
Oh no. Here, let me spend 2 more hours on this awful insult. On Valentine's Day. We can't go out to dinner yet, honey. We have to finish this insult to you first.
Top comment. Girl, my heart is breaking for you. This is so unbelievably and unquestionably fucked up. Nothing about this, his response, or the way he treats you is even remotely okay. There's no excuse, and people like this don't get any better. I hope you rediscover your worth and take action to get him out of your life, so you can find a loving and supportive partner who you'll actually enjoy playing with.
Yeah, I feel like this is not a good relationship for her. He might be getting out of it what he wants, but I feel like she's not getting what she deserves out of this. And I feel, honestly, if she's a girl who's gaming, like, how many guys would be, like, totally up for that, right?
Another comment. He gave you a mean prank instead of a gift. That sucks. I would be upset too. And I don't think you're wrong to draw a connection between his making fun of you for how well you play games and his making fun of strangers. It sounds like he enjoys being mean in general. You deserve to be treated kindly and to have your feelings valued.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. Like, because that was my first thought, is if he's making fun of all those people online, you know he's thinking those things, even if he is not saying them to her face. I think this gift definitely is his way of showing this, even though he thinks he's being polite and not actually saying it.
Somebody else comments, because he loves doing puzzles. That was another thing that caught my eye. If you're getting a gift for someone, it should be something they would like or enjoy. Sounds like this whole thing was just for his own amusement and benefit.
Yeah, I think so. He's like, oh, this picture's hilarious because it's, you know, her being terrible. And he's thinking all the things he usually says to the other players. And he's just absolutely delighted by the fact that he's celebrating how awful she is in this game with a puzzle that he can happily do himself.
I would make him single for Valentine's, but I am a crusty old Gen X mom with 2 daughters and too old for that shit. And I sure as heck wouldn't be okay with either of my daughters being treated like that by their partner. I can tell a lot about the kind of person someone is by how they treat the people they game with. You deserve to be treated better than what you're getting out of your relationship. Just think about that.
I agree with her. She definitely deserves way better than that.
OP replied, I agree and generally wouldn't be perturbed by it because him and his friends constantly banter and talk crap to each other. When he makes fun of me for being bad, I believe him when he says he means it lightheartedly. But I know he is making the joke because it has a grain of truth. And he knows I was upset about being bad at these games and holding back his enjoyment. All the guys I play with that are my friends but not his found it absolutely hilarious. But I think y'all are making me realize I didn't find it funny because I feel a level of discomfort in the relationship.
Yeah, I think even if the other guys find it funny, that doesn't make it any better. It's still kind of awful.
It's kind of awful. Like, initially, I was like, that is really funny.
Yeah.
But then I realized there's nothing else to this Valentine's present.
Yeah, there should be something else, something to show that he does actually care about her, because this is not showing that at all. This is showing the opposite.
Right, it's one of those things where at first you're like, that is a sick burn.
Yeah.
But then you realize that, like, no, I don't think he likes you, OP.
No, I don't think he does. I think he's only with her because she's hot.
Yeah, at least she's hot.
Yeah.
All right, and then there was an update 2 days later. I ended up deleting the post because it was getting a lot of traction and it was overwhelming. Also, some women just engaging in the casual misogyny of accusing me of trying to be a cool girl and surrounding myself with toxic men for validation was crazy off that one post.
Oh, wow. Okay. That would be upsetting.
Reddit is not always the most supportive environment.
Okay, very true.
Anyway, the next day I got acceptances into all of the PhD programs I applied to.
Dang, girl.
One of which I was offered a fellowship, basically high honors showing I was an extremely competitive admit. Boyfriend was still so mad over the Valentine's gift he wasn't speaking and only congratulated me over text saying, "Great news." My friends were appalled and threw an impromptu party for me where I cried at the show of support.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think at very least he should have been like, that's awesome, let's go out to dinner to celebrate, or let's go out for ice cream to celebrate, or let's, even if this money's a thing, let's go for a walk in the park to celebrate, or something. Like, he should have made some effort. Like, that is a huge life accomplishment. Many life accomplishments if she got into all of those PhD programs. Like, that's good.
My parents are dead and it's just me in this world. Between what some very great woman said to me as motivational advice on this sub and that, it helped give me the final push. They came together to help me make a plan to get a new apartment, move out, and help start this new chapter in my life.
Wait a minute. So they were living together and he only congratulated her over text?
Yeah, it sounds
so,
like
he
it.
got home and was just like business as usual, no big deal?
Well, it's not business as usual. He's pouting.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that makes it not any better. That makes it worse.
It does.
He can't get over his pettiness to congratulate her on her big life event. I don't think this guy sounds like a great guy.
Sounds like OP doesn't think that anymore either.
That's good.
I'm going to buy myself a cute little battle station as a gift. I've been saving up for one for this exact thing.
Probably for her PhD.
Oh, PhD gift. Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, how are you saving up for your future breakup? But no, PhD.
Probably saving up for her PhD gift to reward herself if she was successful.
So hopefully my next post is pics of that. Thanks for the community support.
Oh, good. I'm glad she got the support she needed to move on and leave that horrible jerk and hopefully find somebody better. I think she's going to have no problem finding somebody way better than him.
We openly swear on this show. You can just call him a fuck.
I can't say that. I've never said that.
Let's do one comment on the update.
Okay.
Nice. Congratulations on your PhD program. I hope it brings you success. As for your boyfriend, he seems like an immature child who isn't considering your feelings. If he persists in not talking to you, then maybe you deserve the break from him and time to reflect on yourself if it's still worth staying around him. I'm glad you're thinking about your future. Make sure your happiness comes first.
Oh, is she still with him? I assumed when she moved out, they broke up.
No, OP replied, "Oh, we aren't going to be together anymore by the end of this week. I think it was over way before today anyway. Just waiting to have everything in order before I drop the other shoe, so to speak."
That's a good idea. Better to have all your ducks in a row before you make a man-child angry. Oh, can I say that? That doesn't sound very nice.
You can call him a man-child. It's okay.
He's a man-child.
In this instance, he's being a little bitch.
Yeah, he kind of is. Especially with the pouting. Like, I could see maybe, well, not really. Pouting is dumb. Especially when he messed up with the gift. He should have been like, okay, yeah, maybe that was not a great gift. Sorry about that. But if he's going to pout about it for multiple days, and then he should have at least given that up when she had exciting news. But the fact that he still persisted to pout when she had exciting news shows that he's not really in there to be emotionally supportive to her. He's just worried about himself.
Yeah, he's waiting for her to apologize about the crappy gift he gave her.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is. That's probably exactly what he's doing, which is even worse.
Yeah, I think OP can do better.
Definitely much better.
Let's go with a classic one next.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for refusing to share my food with my girlfriend?
Oh, no. I don't know if I can be objective on this one because I am the worst food sharer. I get so excited about my food and I want to eat it all and not share it. One time I cried because Jeff asked me if I would share a donut with him. And I cried because I was planning to eat that donut later.
It's really funny that Kristie has told the exact same story about me on this show. About how I took a donut and she cried.
Donuts are sacred.
Yeah, it's not just a Kristie thing. It's all your whole family thing.
We love donuts. I love donuts.
The Lord of the Rings is doing a theatrical rerun in my city. So me, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, decided to go watch the Two Towers extended edition last night.
Ooh, exciting. Okay.
We do not currently live together. There's a bar that I really love right next to the theater. I asked if we could go to the restaurant after the movie because I really wanted to get this specific dish.
Okay, so a favorite restaurant, food you're looking forward to, got it. Totally would be there.
It's lattice-style fries that are fried in beef tallow, covered with green onions, bacon, house seasonings, and come with the best hollandaise sauce I've ever tasted in my life.
This sounds amazing. I wish I was going there.
You can get fries for one, smaller portion, or fries for two, much larger portion, for a couple extra dollars.
I see where this is going, and it's making me sad already.
She didn't realize that the movie was nearly 4 hours long, and it ended at around 10 p.m. By this time, she said she was tired and didn't want to go to the restaurant anymore. I said that's okay, and asked if I could order my fries to go. She said, that's fine.
Okay, that sounds good. Everybody still gets their fries. They get home at a reasonable time. Things are going good. Okay.
I asked her if she wanted any, and she said no, so I ordered the fries for one.
That's a mistake. Classic mistake already. If you're taking them home, order fries for two, and then you have fries for later.
Oh, that's clever right there. I checked with her again before I ordered, and she said she 100% didn't want any.
That's always a lie. Always a lie. They should plan for this. Even if you think you can trust your partner, never trust them. They're going to want some when they see how amazing they are.
Yeah, I feel like OP is walking right into a rookie mistake here.
Like, this is so bad. Like, how did they not see this coming? And, like, I feel, like, very strongly about this because French fries are, like, my favorite food. So, like, I would just order extra anyway just to avoid any potential sadness about not getting enough.
Maybe we're coming at this from, like, a veteran point of view, though, because we've both been in relationships for well over a decade.
That's true. Yeah.
We went to pick up the fries. She caught a whiff of it, and she asked if she could have a few.
That's you. Okay, so you turn right around and go order another one. You probably haven't even left yet. Even if you're just a couple steps away or a block away, you turn around and get more.
That is funny that you're seeing the same cliff approaching that I'm seeing here. I feel like OP is not seeing it.
No, they just don't know. Maybe, like you said, maybe this is the first time they're dealing with this and they're just about to get blindsided by the worst fryless night of their life.
No problem. They are very delicious, and I let her have some. She then asked if we could sit outside the restaurant to eat the whole thing together. I said no. I asked if you wanted to have some, and you said no. And if you wanted to eat some, you should have told me so I could have gotten the fries for two. And I don't want to share the fries for one, as it's a smaller portion.
Okay, so here's what they really should have done. If she wanted to sit outside and eat the whole thing together, that means they're going to be there for a while. So he should have just ordered another one to take home later, and they should have shared that one there. And then when they got home, he could have just eaten the rest of his fries by himself like he planned and be happy. And have extra.
I do have to say, it's like classic asshole behavior for the girlfriend to be like, I don't want any fries, and then eat a bunch of the fries.
I never lie about that. I don't actually think Jeff has ever even asked because my love for French fries is well known. So he just orders a lot of extra fries.
Right, but I would also add, OP really needs to learn more about their partner.
Yeah.
She got really upset and said I'm being selfish and refused to share my fries. I said that yes, I am being selfish, but in this case, I really wanted the fries. I don't want to share in this instance. She's since cooled down, but this morning we had a call, and she said that next time I should just share it with her. And I said I'm happy to share any time, but not in cases like this. And she should be more careful about saying what she wants. She's upset with me again now. So, am I the asshole?
Everyone sucks here because she should have said she wanted fries at the beginning. But he also sucks because he should have, when he realized she wanted more, they're still at the restaurant. He could order more. That would have solved the problem, and he definitely should have done that.
It would have cost more than getting the large portion the first time.
Oh, I see. Yes.
But I don't know. It's a few extra bucks to keep your relationship happy.
Yeah. Is your relationship worth, like, okay, so say they're really expensive fries and they're like $15 for like gourmet fries.
Yeah.
Is your relationship worth $15? One would assume yes.
Yeah, right? Like maybe it's food truck prices, in which case I could see $15 fries.
Yeah. They did sound fancy. They had hollandaise sauce.
And beef tallow and stuff. So these are not cheap fries.
Yeah. So even if it's $20, if you really like that person and you're trying to maintain a relationship, you would think that that would be a reasonable price to pay.
And it's a date.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a date. She should have fries. Why didn't he just get her fries to begin with? He should have known.
There is a certain aspect of like looking at it from the outside and being like, oh, you fool.
Yes, I think maybe we are feeling that. But yeah, I think also, though, you can never have too many fries.
Reddit says not the asshole.
Oh, because she said no.
Yeah, top comment will sum it up pretty nicely. Not the asshole. I'm so sick of people who do this. Order your own fucking fries and don't cry when people quite rightly don't want to share.
That's a good point. Why didn't she say, these are really good? Do you mind if I place an order real quick? He was obviously fine with waiting and going out to eat afterwards. So maybe he would have been fine with just waiting for her to get fries too. I mean, if he loves them that much, he would definitely understand if she wanted some too, right?
But she doesn't want a whole order of fries. She's not that hungry. She just wants like half of his.
I don't understand that at all.
That's how that generic logic goes, right?
Oh.
Like, I just want to steal a few of yours, and then she eats all the fries.
Oh, does they not count if they're not yours?
Exactly.
Oh.
The calories don't count that way.
I just want all the fries.
I think OP just needs to realize that if you're in a relationship with this type of person, order the bigger size. And worst case, you have to toss some potatoes in the trash.
Yeah.
Like, they're potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, potatoes are pretty small in the grand scheme of relationships.
We're going very much against the grain by saying everyone sucks here, by the way.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. So,
oh, I really feel like this problem was 100% avoidable by multiple routes.
another comment, not the asshole. For the people here saying you should have just bought it anyway, no. They are just reinforcing annoying behavior. She's an adult. If she was really that hungry, they could have ordered another single portion.
That was my revelation later on. Why didn't she just order some more? She could have easily done that. Or was she just hurt that he didn't love her enough to share his fries?
It's a little bit of that, too.
Yeah, but fries. Gourmet fries. Fancy fries. I wouldn't want to share either. But again, I am notoriously bad at sharing food.
Having said that, though, I don't know if I like the way that commenter said that just reinforces annoying behavior. You're dating this person, you're not raising them.
What are they doing? Like training her?
It sounds like they're training her, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're dating this girl. You either like her or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you like her, you just have to learn some quirks. That's every relationship is there's going to be quirks with your partner.
Yeah.
And it sounds like hers is she's not going to want fries until you're holding them.
Yeah. And even if it is a problem that you have, that it's bad behavior that you don't like, I feel like he should maybe just come out and tell her that so that she knows that she has to order her own fries in the future.
This is another one where we could fix this with discussion or compromise.
Yeah, discussion or compromise.
Another comment, Joey doesn't share food.
Exactly. Joey doesn't share food, and Katie doesn't share food either.
Neither does Kristie.
Yep.
She's not here, but neither does Kristie.
She doesn't.
Not the asshole. She specifically said she didn't want anything twice before you ordered.
And she did say it twice.
She doesn't get to be upset that you don't want to share your meal for one with her. She needs to grow up and take responsibility for her own actions. Or maybe this is some mental gymnastics so she can tell herself that she skipped dinner.
Yeah, kind of like what you said earlier. The calories don't count if it's not yours.
Right. That's just good girl math.
Oh, okay.
Is that girl math?
I don't know. I never used that math. I ate all the fries. And they were mine. I ordered double.
It's at the very least diet math.
Okay.
If I just eat a few bites of someone else's food, those calories don't count. Well, the cake's gonna go bad in a few days, so I'd better eat it.
I would be horrible at this whole diet thing. This is not going to go well.
So Reddit is pretty firmly not the asshole on this. And I feel like even our everyone sucks here is mostly like us both looking at this from a third party perspective and being like, you fool, you're walking right over that edge.
I know. Yeah. Always buy more fries.
All right. That's our last story for this episode of Stealing the Internet.
Thanks again for letting me come join you guys on your journey today. It was so fun to be here. Sorry I'm not Kristie, but I appreciate you guys letting me tag along today.
Kristie will be back soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. I know I get irritated when shows I watch have a guest person. I'm like, I don't know this person. Who is this person? Go away. My only saving grace is that my voice sounds very similar to Kristie's, so they might accept me a little bit.
There you go. Not only is there a guest, but the best person on the show is gone.
Oh, no.
The person that they all blatantly like more than me.
You're just there as, like, decoration.
Right.